As a busy mom, I'm sure you're wondering, Brittany, why are you telling me to start on YouTube? I'm hearing all these different things about how people are blowing up on TikTok. I already have an Instagram profile. I don't need another social media platform that I have to feed. But I want to tell you why YouTube is your best bet as a busy mom. It's going to make the most impact with the little bit of time out of your schedule in comparison to other social media platforms. As a busy mom, I know you're overwhelmed by social media, all the tips and tricks, people telling you to start here, people telling you to be on TikTok. You're not sure where to begin. But I want to encourage you as a busy mom also why you should make YouTube one of your main platforms that you focus on, because you're able to give it less time but see more growth. And let's talk about why. First, let's start with why you want to hear this information from me and wondering, who are you on these internet streets? There's so many gurus, people giving advice. Well, my name is Brittany. I'm a content creator that lives in Atlanta. I've been doing content in so many shapes and forms for the last 10 years. And I've been at a place where I haven't seen growth with my social media platforms. I've also transitioned so many times that I know what it's like to be unsure and hear all this advice, soaking up all this information and not sure what your next step would be. I also have created websites for people, logos. I've sold jewelry online, all kind of things. I've worked with brands. I've made money offline before this current project that I'm on right now. And so I know what it's like in the midst of all that, trying to grow your family, but also grow your brand and have this energy around something that you just can't seem to put to bed. And there's so much advice, but a lot of times as a mom, you're not able to take that advice because the person may be single, they may be male, they have way more time to invest in a brand than we do. So I want to talk through how you're going to be able to start your YouTube channel and make this really work for you. Let's start with step one. We're going to start with the basics. We're going to go through this and we're going to actually build up our YouTube channel. Step one is that you have to begin with the end in mind. I've already said this in several of my videos because it's really important. When I was creating content before online, I would just think, okay, let me just think of something to put up. I might put up a cooking video one day and then the next day I may be doing my makeup. And there was no consistency to what I was actually bringing. And I wasn't really clear on my end goal outside of, hey, I see people making money online. I would like to make money online. I know how to shoot video footage. I know how to edit. Let me just put my content up there with hopes that, I don't know, people on the other side are just waiting for my content. And it took me until a few months ago to really understand no one cares. And especially if I'm hopping from thing to thing to thing, there's no clear goal. So how am I leading a community when I can barely lead my own content, right? With no clear strategy at the end. So when I say begin with the end in mind, you're going to already have your product and service laid out. I know it's very tempting. You hear stuff about just start, just get on here. But as a mom, you have to have a clear goal as to why you're creating content. If not, you're just going to be frustrated by the results. I just can't even lie to you. I've been there and it is a wheel of nothing. It gets you nowhere to not know where you want to go, like honestly, and thinking that the algorithm and this quote unquote audience is just going to make it clear for you. You have to start with something, even if it's not all the way pinned out or mapped out, and then the audience can help you go further. Like right now, I have a guide where I'm teaching you how to use social media to actually make money. What I'm teaching you right now in this video. No, nobody's buying the guide right now because I just put it up last week. But I know that that is the point of my content. So every week, every video that I'm coming on, I'm talking about that guide. I'm promoting that guide. I'm using content around that guide to promote the guide, but also be of value even before people buy the guide. But it helps influence my content, and I'm not guessing what I'm talking about every time I record. As a mom, I don't have a lot of time. So when I get on here, the point is for me to sell. You have to be very, very comfortable with selling or you're not going to make any money. Period, point blank. Yes, I know you see all these people that are making money with brands, but that takes a lot of work. I'm not discouraging you from going that route, but understand you have to build trust with an audience. You have to build a community and get the attention of brands, especially if you're talking about enough money to do this full time. So that's not the route that I'm talking about. The route that I'm talking about as a mom is that I need to feed my kids. I need to bring in extra income. So anything outside of time that I'm spending with my family, it needs to be valuable. It needs to be going somewhere. It needs to be pointing people to a direction. So you're going to have to be really clear about what your value is on social media. If you think I'm just going to record videos and you're going to make money that way, it's not going to happen. The consistency and pumping out videos is not the issue. Really, with making money, instead of going wider, you want to go deeper. So what is it that you can go deeper in? Do you want to teach people about confidence? Do you want to teach people about, maybe you do want to do motherhood, but what about motherhood stands out to you? And what about motherhood can you bring value to others? What can you build a community around for mothers? Is it, teaching kids how to go to sleep, creating a bedtime routine that's healthy for the whole family? I'm not saying don't use motherhood in your content, but there needs to be a clear goal in the beginning. And if you decided that, hey, I want to teach bedtime routines, maybe you have 3 quick videos that you sell to go deeper with your audience about how they can go ahead and get their kids to sleep and get them on a routine. It can be as simple as that. But there needs to be a point to why you're spending this energy on the internet. So number 2 is about having a content goal. And it feeds into number 1, which means that you've already decided what you're going to be talking about. So even if you don't have this calendar, this overwhelming calendar about what you're going to talk about for the rest of the year. So my example with the person who talks about putting your kids to bed, you already know for the next 2 to 3 months, you need to be nurturing your audience and bringing them into your formula. So everything that you're talking about for the next 3 months needs to be one topic, meaning what is your framework? Is it, okay, these are all the things that you do right before bedtime. And you just need to talk about those things for the next 3 months as people are funneling into your audience. And what is one thing that you can talk about for the next 3 months that actually gets that audience a result? You need one result for the next 3 months that you can keep talking about. And each time you're pointing back to number 1, which is your product, your service that you offer. So maybe your service is that you get on a phone call with mom and they talk through their issues about bedtime, and you make a bedtime plan for them. Get what I'm saying? You see how this is bridging together, and it makes content easy when you know what you're going to talk about. And yes, there's a time and place to record things, but that gets much easier when you know, okay, this week, my topic is going to bed at 7 p.m. and why that's important. So all week, when I get a moment to record something, I'm staying on that goal. Even if I don't have it mapped out on which day it's going to work with my busy schedule, I already know in my mind what I'm going to talk about. So while I'm out doing other stuff for the kids, I'm making notes in my phone that says, hey, when I get to film, this is what I need to remember. This is a part of my system, and this is what I can talk about when I film. So then you just gathering all that information while you're out doing all your stuff with your kids. And when you get about 15 to 20 minutes, you get on camera and you go ahead and talk through what you have been collecting in your phone until there's no more to talk about. And then find another way to introduce that topic. And you're just talking about that for the next 3 months as you build an audience. It's not about overwhelming your audience and just keep coming up with all these different pieces of content, like different content. It's just talking about that same thing in another way until it gets to click off and go off on people, you're just talking about that until the light bulb goes off and you start to gain an audience. Because for this next 3 months, what you're going to be also figuring out is not just your messaging, but you're going to be figuring out how to gain an audience from video. So it's going to take some time to get that down. So you don't need to bog yourself down thinking that every time you get on camera, you need to be talking about something different. No, you need to be talking about the same thing, but going at it a different way each time. So this time, maybe you start the hook with, hey, this is why your family is not resting well. Then you start it another way and figure out what way works for you and what way actually brings in an audience and brings people into your funnel and makes it clear that, hey, I want to follow this person and I want to get more information from them. It's not about you even being perfect. Your audience is okay with going down this journey with you if you are providing value. And the reason, number 3, is that I want you to keep your videos short and sweet. And that's why I think YouTube is a beautiful way to do this as a mom. Because you can take 30 minutes, set it aside. If you've already written out your bullet points, then all you're doing is trying to find that quiet pocket in your day to get on camera and film. And YouTube makes that very easy. And when people come on YouTube, they're looking for education. They're not necessarily looking for all the fancy editing and all the things that you see sometimes when you're on TikTok and Instagram. They come here to learn, and then they come here and build a relationship with you as a person. And that allows most people to want to go deeper with you. So as a mom, it's really impactful to build a YouTube channel. You can keep your videos down to 10 to 15 minutes after you edit it. And if you do talking head videos, it's much easier to edit than trying to do a vlog or some of these things that take a little bit more skill and a little bit more time. With YouTube, you can get your message out there and then you're done for the week. YouTube is not something that you have to feed every single day like an Instagram or a TikTok. You want to do a video about once a week if possible. That is a good cadence on YouTube because you want people to have time to find your video, to work with your video and take results from that first video before you're adding something else to the mix. So that is the beautiful thing why I encourage moms to use YouTube to grow their audience. And then another number 4, why I encourage people to use YouTube is it goes back to number 2 when you're doing content. If you have decided that what I'm talking about on YouTube for this week is putting the kids to bed by 7, all your little pieces of content on TikTok and Instagram can also nurture around your YouTube video. So they're shorter clips that talk about that same thing. You can either pull them from your YouTube video or you can make a few clips that talk about the same thing. And then that helps you just stay on topic. And so you can use those shorter videos and point them back to, hey, if you're liking what I'm talking about here, if you want more details, I have a whole YouTube video that goes even further into detail about what I talked about in this short or this TikTok or this Instagram video. So it's just a beautiful thing for moms to not have to create so many pieces of content or try to think of so many new ideas. Stick with that same idea. Talk about it over and over. Catchy ways to bring in your audience. Maybe one day you're inside the house, the next day you're in the park. Giving that same message, trying to figure out what draws in an audience and what do they like to hear, what, makes their light go off. I just want to end with the fact that YouTube is at a beautiful time where they do want people to be a little bit more authentic. Obviously depends on your niche, but if you're in a niche where you are coming on camera and you can do talking head videos, the most important thing that people are looking for on YouTube right now is good sound. It's not all those graphics. It's not, all those cinematic things. Those things are nice, but people want easy takeaways, things that they can walk away with, and they need to be able to hear you, right? And they just want to see your face. They want some genuine interaction, and they do want to feel like you are actually talking to them. But that's something that you can do very quickly, and it's very effective, more effective than an Instagram or a TikTok video. Overall, the point is people just want you to come as you are, and YouTube is a great place to do that. You don't have to be as polished and like quick on the money as you are when you are on a TikTok video or a YouTube shorts, right? People aren't really trying to necessarily get to know you. They just want to see what is the point of this. They want to be entertained and move on about their day. But when people come on YouTube, they know they're going to sit with it a little bit. They might be exercising. They may be cleaning the kitchen or washing dishes, exercising. So they're open to taking information. And so as a mom, that is just a valuable tool for us. We have so many things at our disposal. So do not get overwhelmed by your schedule, all the self-doubt that you can have and questioning, taking away time for your family. If this is something that you keep coming to and keep wanting to create content and it's just nagging at you, you need to be on camera. But make sure, like I said, that the key takeaways are that you have a point to coming on the internet. What product and service are you selling? Because that is going to be a great incentive for you personally and financially to continue to create content. 2, what is going to be your content topics? And you base them off what your product and service is so that you're not wasting your time on social media. And then whatever it is that you decide to make your little content pillars where you're going to be talking about for the next 3 months, just wrap that thing up and keep talking about it over and over again. Find different ways to wrap it up so that it is clear for an audience. And 4, you just have to believe in yourself. You have to be authentic. You have to be okay with testing, learning, and growing. And I am your guide on this journey. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask in the comments. I also have a free guide that shows you the back end of setting up your YouTube channel, also showing you what gear that you can get. And that is a free guide if you go to Socially Smart Mom. And if you want to go even deeper, you can contact me. We can set up some time to talk. I am here to help. We have to help each other through this struggle, but none of this is impossible. We have a great resource at our fingertips when it comes to YouTube, and I want you to use that. And I will see you in the next one.